Hey game makers! We're back with Echo's Beginner's Guide to Event Commands, Part 2. Before we jump into the second page, I wanted to mention something important I forgot about last time. When using change equipment, the change will only activate if the weapon or armor is already in the inventory, so you'll have to add it first. Okay, so page 2 of the event commands. Movement. First, we've got transfer player. If you're used to using quick event transfer, this is where the command it uses is located. Direct designation will allow you to select a specific map and the tile you want the player to be moved to. Designation with variables is more interesting. This is great for remembering the player's previous location and going back there. Here are some videos where I show off how to do this. You just need to set 3 variables to map ID, player X, and player Y when you're at the location you want to remember, and then put them in here when you're transferring back. Direction just refers to the direction you'll be facing when you're done the transfer. Retain just retains your current direction. Fade will either let you fade the screen black or white while transferring. None will load the map instantaneously without any sort of transition, or at least as instantaneously as you can be given load times. Next is set vehicle location. Same basic thing with this one. Select the vehicle you need to move, and either direct designation the thing, or set it with variables. Set event location is a little different. You can directly put any event on the current map anywhere on the current map. Use variables to place them, or exchange them with another event. Key point being, you can only throw events around on the current map. And again, you can select the direction. Scroll map is fun! You just set the direction, how many tiles it's going to be scrolling, and the speed. So if you like fancy scrolling establishing shots or cool dynamic cutscenes, you should get acquainted with map scrolling. Set movement route. We saw this window earlier in the event's individual move route. From here, we have access to moving the player and any event on the map. At the bottom, we have repeat movements, skip if cannot move, and wait for completion. Pay attention to these. Do not ever use repeat movements and wait for completion, or you're gonna have a bad time. It will repeat infinitely, and that's no fun. Moving on, skip if cannot move. This is really nice if you're really lazy, since instead of breaking the game, if the character walks into something they can't pass through, it'll just skip to the next sequence of movements until you meet one you can actually do. This can be used really cheaply if you don't feel like counting out how many steps to take, and just feel like entering move left a bunch of times, till they inevitably hit a wall, and then move down, and so on. Or something to that effect. This will only skip actual movement types of commands. So things like waits, speed changes, and sound effects will all still play normally. Wait for completion. This, I feel, needs some explaining. Clearly, if checked, it waits for the movement's completion. Say you have 5 different characters' move routes, and if this was checked, it would do them all one after another. Having this not checked would have them move all at the same time, and any event commands after the move routes would play immediately. Now, what do you do if you want all the characters to walk at the same time, but not have the cutscene continue until they're finished? Well, the easiest solution is to manipulate wait commands, and setting the character that has the longest move route to wait for completion, and below all of the other characters' move routes. This will start all of the characters' movements at the same time, but not continue the scene until the last character is finished. Now for the movement commands themselves, we've got the move up, left, right, and downs, and move lower left, lower right, upper left, and upper right, which will move the character diagonally, move towards and away from the player, and yes, setting the player to move away from the player will do nothing. One step forward and backward. Jump, keep in mind that positive numbers are right and down, and negative numbers are left and up. Your followers will also jump with you. Waits. Waits are also important. You see, things like turning are all instant, so if you have your character spinning around, it might get a little crazy. So you want to put in short wait commands between each turn, unless you really want them to freak out. Speaking of turning directions. We also have turning 90 degrees and 180 degrees. These will change you to that specific direction based on which direction you're currently facing. Turn 90 degrees left or right, we'll random it between 90 degrees left and right. Turn at random turns at random! What a concept! Turn towards and away from the player are great for when you're in the middle of eventing and can't quite remember where the player is in correlation to everybody else. You can also turn switches on or off mid-move route. Change speed and frequency, change the speed and step frequency. In the last section, we've got walking animation, stepping animation, direction fix, and through, on, and off. We covered all of those last time, so these just let you turn them on or off. Transparent on or off. This will make the character invisible or visible. Change image. This lets you pick a specific entire character graphic. Mild rage moment? VX did this too. I can't understand why, and I absolutely hate that you can't pick individual frames anymore. Now, there are plugins that let you select individual frames of a graphic, but I shouldn't need to type in a confusing set of numbers to do something that used to be default. Anyway, rage moment over. Moving on. Opacity lets you change the see-throughness of things. Blend mode lets you change the blend mode between add and normal. If you want to learn the difference between add and normal, you can go over here where I sort of explain it a little bit. Play SE lets you play a sound effect, and script lets you type in script commands. So if I was using that plugin that lets me select individual frames on a character sheet, I'd type that here. Now, get on/off vehicle. This lets you get on/off a vehicle. I actually have more to say about this one though. If you're already on a vehicle, it'll just kick you off. If you want to go on the vehicle must be placed on the same tile as the player. New category, character. Change transparency will change the player's invisibility on or off, which is great when you're in a cutscene and you don't want the player to be the player. Change followers turns your follower characters on and off. Gather followers gathers the followers to the player's location. Show animation is fun. You select the character and then select the animation to play. The animations themselves can be changed in the database. We've also got another wait for completion checkbox. This will either continue the scene immediately, or if checked, we'll wait for the animation to finish playing before continuing the scene. Show balloon icon is basically the same thing. Choose the character and choose the balloon icon. The icons themselves can be changed in your game's image/system folder, and the file is just called balloon. Again, there's a wait for completion option here too. Erase event! The event command to which I still can't fathom why it's under character. Erase event erases the event it's on until you re-enter the map. This is great for one-time map entering events, like setting picture lighting and such, since you'd need to do those on autorun or parallel, and you'd likely want to erase their event to stop them from continuously trying to re-show. As mentioned, this only temporarily erases the event until you re-enter the map. So don't use these on your main cutscene events, as without any tampering, your scene will replay the next time you enter the map again. Switches and variables are your go-to for cutscene control. Speaking of pictures! Pictures! First, we have show picture. The number you enter is basically the number the picture is layered at. Higher numbered pictures will appear over top of lower numbered pictures. Showing a new picture with the same number will overwrite the current one shown. Image is the picture you select. Under position, we've got origin. This is the origin point of the picture. So if set to upper left, and the X and Y locations are 0, 0, the picture will show from its top left corner and be drawn from the top left corner of the screen at 0, 0. In this case, if the picture was the same size as your screen, you'd see the entire picture. If the origin is center and still at XY 0, 0, it would start drawing the picture from the center of the image at the coordinates 0, 0, the top left. So again, if the picture was the same size as your screen resolution, you'd only end up seeing the bottom right of the picture. Direct designation, as mentioned, refers to the coordinates to where the picture is shown. 0, 0 would be the top left corner. If your screen was 100 pixels wide, and you wanted to show your picture starting in the middle of the screen, you could set upper left and set X to 500, so half the total size. Simply, 0, 0 is the top left, and your game's screen resolution would be the bottom right. And you can move and adjust things accordingly from there. We also have a designation with variables here too, so you can adjust the X and Y locations via variables. This is great for something like updating things on a self-made minimap, like I do in this tutorial, so the picture continuously updates to its new location. On the right we have scale. Width and height are the percentage of how big we want the picture to be. Fun fact, in MV you can now make the numbers negative so you can actually flip the picture easily. Blend is just the opacity, that is, the see-throughness of your picture. And blend mode again, only having normal and add. Next, we've got move picture. Before using move picture, you'll want to make sure the show picture is first. Number is where you'd enter the number you set on show picture. For the origin, you'll probably want to stick to whatever one you had on the picture too. Direct designation / with variables is where you'll be moving the image to. Again, we've got scale, which would be changed if you wanted to make the picture bigger and smaller, and blend, which is where we could change the opacity to, say, fade the picture in from 0 on show picture to 255 here. I'd also advise keeping the blend mode the same as whatever it was for show picture, for consistency's sake, but you don't have to. Duration is how long the picture's move changes will take in frames. Again, we've got another wait for completion check, to which I am sure you get the idea by now. Rotate picture! Rotates the picture at the set speed. To stop the rotation, just reshow the picture. Tint picture! Again, select the picture's number. You can adjust the color values by either typing them into where all the zeros are, or adjusting them by moving the little scrollies around. You can also select some tint presets at the bottom. Duration and wait for completion are here as well. Erase picture lets you erase the picture. Simply type in the number. Note: do not underestimate the usefulness of pictures. You can use them in practically any way you see fit, and adjust them however you want, so pictures are your friends. Timing! Wait, you'd think you'd find a timer under timing, wouldn't you? Wait commands are important, both for scene timing and just overall making things work. If something in your scene isn't working, try putting a short wait command between everything and see what happens. In Action Button, Player, and Event Touch events, wait commands will force the player to wait, so they can't do anything. Autorun already prevents the player from doing anything. Parallel, however, will still allow the player to continue moving and doing things while wait commands are in effect. Screen! Fade out screen fades the screen to black. Fade in screen fades in the screen. When the screen is faded, it will never become unfaded until you fade in the screen. Tint screen is the same as tint picture, except we're tinting the entire screen. Again, changing the values, presets, and wait amount. Flash screen! As opposed to tint screen, which changes the screen's actual colors, flash screen just overlays the colors selected. Intensity is sort of the brightness, darkness, and see-throughness, and overall intensity of the colors selected. These are great for doing things like lightning and dramatic screen flashes. You can also use them with Transfer Player for a mildly different transition effect. Shake screen shakes the screen! Power is how crazy you want it to shake, and speed is how fast. And more of the duration settings at the bottom. Set weather effect! We've got rain, storm, and snow! Wow, such a selection, am I right? The higher the power here, the more images of the weather effects are shown. These will also automatically set a slight screen tint overlay. Audio and video. Okay, so these basically all work the same. Play BGM, plays background music. You can click on the song to preview it, or click play and stop to stop the preview. You can also adjust the volume, pitch, and left-right audio pan. You'll also want to use this command when changing battle themes when you're already inside of a battle. Change Battle BGM does not take effect until after the battle will be over, so you'd have to use this during a battle. Fade Out BGM lets you select an amount, in seconds no less, to fade out in. Save BGM and Replay BGM are nice. Save BGM will remember the song that's currently playing, and Replay BGM will replay it. Play BGS lets you select and adjust background sounds, and Fade Out BGS fades them out. Play ME will play a music effect. Using these will also pause the current background music playing, and re-fade it in when the ME is finished. These are used as sort of mini important music sounds, like when you get an item or someone joins your party, or will you stayed at an inn, yay! Play SE lets you play a sound effect. Stop SE will let you manually stop a sound effect. So this would be used if you need to cut a sound short, or if you're using sound effects for something like voice acting and go to a new line of dialogue. Play Movie lets you play a movie. Keep in mind, MV will continue running the event regardless of its trigger as soon as the movie starts playing. So you will want to add in wait commands after the video starts for the duration of the video. Now, I want to leave you with one more piece of advice regarding audio and video. MV is not friendly with file types. It accepts .ogg for PC and .m4a for mobile for audio types. For video types, it accepts .webm for PC and .mp4 for mobile. MV gets very confused if you're throwing wrong file types into its folders, so it's best to avoid doing that. That's all for this part, and I shall see you in the next and hopefully final part of our Event Commands series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, gamers!